Welcome to Legacy Black Power. 12 black actors who are gay. 12 black actors. 12 hidden stories. One truth Hollywood tried to bury. Some of these stars stood tall and came out proudly. Others kept their silence, terrified that the same industry that built them up could just as easily tear them down. But one beloved black actor stunned fans by revealing his truth only after retiring. When the cameras were off, the lights had faded, and nobody was watching. No headlines. No scandal. Just raw, quiet honesty. Now here's the question. Which iconic 90s sitcom star came out decades later, long after leaving Hollywood for good? Hit like if you think you know. Drop your guess in the comments. Tap dislike if you're still unsure. And don't forget to subscribe to Legacy of Black Power, because this is only the beginning. Mekhi Phifer. Mekhi Phifer rose to prominence in an era when black male actors were expected to be everything. Magnetic, commanding, and above all, presented as straight in an industry terrified of complexity. From his powerful debut in Clockers, 1995, to his unforgettable turn as Dr. Greg Pratt on NBC's ER, Phifer carved out a reputation as one of Hollywood's most bankable black stars. Yet, with every spotlight came a shadow. Fame demanded silence, a trade-off where personal truths were tucked away in exchange for professional survival. For years, Phifer has kept his private life tightly guarded. Twice married, father of 2 sons, he fits the Hollywood mold of the respectable family man. On paper, his life looks picture perfect. But behind that image, whispers have long suggested another side. Private relationships with men, hidden far from cameras and public judgment. To be clear, Phifer has never identified as gay or bisexual, and he has every right to define or not define his identity on his own terms. What makes his story significant is not scandal, but what it reveals about the suffocating culture of Hollywood itself. For decades, especially for black men, being openly gay often meant being erased. In recent years, Phifer has shifted his energy toward independent films, mentorship, and philanthropy, passionately supporting STEM education for underserved youth. Though his presence in mainstream media has faded, his influence has not. He remains a respected voice in entertainment and advocacy, carrying his legacy forward in ways that matter beyond fame. Whether Mekhi Phifer ever chooses to share his personal truth or not, his journey underscores one of Hollywood's oldest realities. Silence is rarely just a choice. More often, it's a shield. So I'll leave you with this question. Has Hollywood truly changed, or are actors, especially black men, still being pressured to hide who they are? Morris Chestnut. For more than 3 decades, his name has been synonymous with strength, charm, and the kind of leading man Hollywood rarely offers black actors. Ever since his breakout as Ricky in Boys in the Hood, 1991, Chestnut carved out a legacy that stretched from the heart-wrenching Best Man films to his commanding role in Fox's The Resident. To millions, he became the gold standard of black masculinity on screen, handsome, reliable, and magnetic. But with that carefully polished image came unspoken expectations, and with them, whispers that never seemed to fade. Despite being married to Pam Bice since 1995, raising 2 children, and presenting himself as a family man, Chestnut has often found himself the subject of speculation. He has never identified as gay, and no evidence supports such claims, yet the rumors persist. Not because of scandal, but because Hollywood itself has long struggled with the crossroads of race, fame, and sexuality. Why is it that certain men are followed by such quiet questions, while others are not? In Chestnut's case, it may come down to silence. He avoids controversy, keeps his personal life guarded, and rarely overshares. In a media landscape addicted to confession, restraint is often mistaken for secrecy. That mystery has allowed projections, sometimes unfair, sometimes revealing, to grow around him. More than the man himself, this is something larger about the industry. For decades, black male actors have been denied the same freedom their white peers enjoy when it comes to exploring identity. Even a hint of fluidity can risk everything. Whether or not Chestnut belongs to the LGBTQ+ community is beside the point. The fact that asking the question is still taboo in 2025 reflects Hollywood's unresolved tension, not his truth. Yet Chestnut's career remains unshaken. He continues to act, write, and inspire. In 2015, he even published The Cut, a best-selling guide to fitness and discipline, cementing his image as a man of control, strength, and quiet authority. Rumors may swirl, but his legacy, built on talent, resilience, and presence, speaks louder than any whisper. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is a man of many faces. Actor, singer, comedian, and Academy Award winner. For more than 3 decades, he's dazzled audiences in unforgettable roles like Ray, 2004, Collateral, 2004, and Django Unchained, 2012, proving his rare ability to command both the screen and the stage. Yet behind the spotlight and standing ovations, there's one part of Fox's life he has guarded with near impenetrable secrecy: his love life. Over the years, tabloids have linked him to high-profile women, from singer Christina Milian to actress Katie Holmes. Still, Foxx has never married, rarely confirmed serious relationships, and has allowed speculation to swirl. Some even whisper about his sexuality, a topic Foxx has never directly addressed. In fact, he once told Oprah that he intentionally shields his private life from the public eye, not for himself, but to protect the people he loves most, especially his daughters. Let's be clear, Jamie Foxx has never publicly identified as gay, and there's no verified evidence to support that claim. What fuels these conversations isn't fact, but the way public perception twists when a black male superstar chooses silence over confession. In 2023, when Foxx was suddenly hospitalized for a mysterious medical emergency, fans worldwide held their breath. His recovery brought relief, but also reminded everyone how little they truly know about the man behind the charisma. Jamie Foxx's story reveals a truth about Hollywood. Mystery can be both a shield and a mirror. It protects a star from intrusion, yet invites the world to project its own assumptions. Whether Foxx is straight, gay, or simply private, his journey highlights the fragile balance between fame and authenticity. And in that silence, perhaps, lies his greatest performance of all. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah has never needed a label to command the world's respect. With a Grammy, an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and even an Oscar nomination to her name, she has carved out a multi-decade empire that spans music, television, and film, shattering barriers for black women and redefining what it means to be powerful, fearless, and unapologetically authentic. From her groundbreaking rise as one of the first female rappers in the late 1980s to unforgettable screen moments in Living Single, Chicago, and Bessie, Queen Latifah, born Dana Owens, has made a career out of defying expectations. Yet while her professional life is played out in the spotlight, her personal life has remained deliberately shielded. For years, tabloids speculated about her sexuality, whispering about long-term relationships, and her refusal to conform to Hollywood's scripted idea of openness. She never offered labels. She never played by their rules. Instead, she let her truth speak in silence. And in 2021, that silence shifted. Accepting her Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards, she closed her speech with a radiant, happy pride and a heartfelt thank you to Ebony, believed to be her longtime partner, choreographer Ebony Nichols. That single, quiet acknowledgement carried more weight than any headline ever could. Latifah has explained her choice clearly. She stayed guarded not from shame, but to protect those she loves. 4 black women in Hollywood. She once noted, race and gender are already heavy chains. To be openly queer on top of that was another box the industry would try to lock her in. Today, she continues to lead by example. As a star of the Equalizer reboot and a powerful advocate for equality and representation, Queen Latifah proves that visibility doesn't always require a spotlight. Sometimes it only takes presence, and hers is undeniable. Trevante Rhodes. Trevante Rhodes didn't need many words to command the world's attention. As the adult Chiron in Moonlight 2016, his restrained yet soul-stirring performance became one of cinema's most unforgettable portrayals of black queerness. The film went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, and at its very core stood Rhodes, a quiet storm radiating strength and vulnerability all at once. Born in Louisiana and raised in Texas, Rhodes first carved his path not on a stage but on the track. A gifted sprinter, he competed for the University of Texas and even won gold at the 2009 Pan American Junior Athletics Championships. But when he stepped away from the lanes and into the spotlight of acting, he discovered a different kind of power, one rooted not in speed, but in raw emotional truth. Moonlight showcased that gift, as Rhodes embodied a gay man navigating identity and desire in a world where masculinity often leaves no room for tenderness. His hauntingly authentic performance sparked speculation about how much of Chiron lived within him. Yet Rhodes has never publicly addressed his sexuality, choosing silence over labels. What he did offer was something greater: visibility. He breathed humanity into a story Hollywood had long pushed aside, giving dignity to Black queer narratives rarely seen on the big screen. Unlike many rising stars, Rhodes has refused to chase celebrity. His roles in Bird Box, The Predator, and Mike, where he transformed into Mike Tyson, prove his range, but he remains almost elusive. Rarely on social media, absent from tabloid culture, he lets the work speak for itself. In an industry that demands exposure at every turn, Rhodes is a quiet defiance. Whether or not he shares the identities of the characters he inhabits, his performances crack open conversations Hollywood can no longer ignore. Jussie Smollett. For a brief moment, he seemed destined to become one of Hollywood's most visible and groundbreaking Black gay actors. As Jamal Lyon on Empire, he embodied an openly gay musician within a powerful Black dynasty, a role that mirrored his own truth and challenged decades of taboos in mainstream television. Smollett wasn't just playing character, he was living it. In March 2015, during an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, he declared with confidence, "There is no closet. There's never been a closet that I've been in." With that, Smollett became a symbol of representation, an openly gay Black man leading one of the hottest shows on primetime TV. He sang, he acted, and he used his platform to champion LGBTQ plus youth and racial justice, especially for those caught at the crossroads of both identities. But everything shifted in January 2019. Smollett reported he had been the target of a vicious racist and homophobic attack in Chicago. At first, the world rallied around him. Then, the story began to unravel. Within weeks, police accused him of staging the attack himself. By 2022, Smollett was convicted of filing a false police report, sentenced to 150 days in jail, 30 months of felony probation, and ordered to pay more than $145,000 in fines and restitution. He maintained his innocence, and in 2023 his legal team filed an appeal. In a stunning twist, an Illinois appellate court vacated the conviction in early 2025, citing serious procedural flaws in the trial. Today, Smollett's career hangs in the balance. His presence on screen has all but vanished, yet his voice remains. He continues to speak out on justice, identity, and truth. His story is tangled, a mixture of inspiration and controversy, a tale that still sparks fierce debate. Whether seen as a trailblazer, a cautionary figure, or both, Jussie Smollett forced Hollywood and the public to confront questions it had long tried to avoid. Doug Spearman. Doug Spearman is one of those rare Hollywood figures whose influence stretches far beyond the roles he's played. For many, he's immortalized as Professor Chance Counter in the groundbreaking series Noah's Ark, a show that, between 2005 and 2006, dared to put the lives of gay Black men front and center at a time when television often erased them. There he stood, a successful, loving, openly gay man in a committed relationship. It was more than a role, it was a revolution. But Spearman's impact didn't stop when the cameras cut. Openly gay for decades, he built a career as a writer, director, and producer, telling the stories Hollywood was too afraid or too unwilling to tell. His 2013 film Hot Guys with Guns infused queer culture with classic noir, while his 2019 work From Zero to I Love You peeled back the layers of love, identity, and internalized shame within the Black gay community. These weren't side projects. They were bold acts of storytelling, works that challenged the status quo and filled painful voids in queer media. Born in Washington, D.C., and raised in a family of educators, Spearman carried intellect and purpose into every project. Beyond his films, he became a fierce advocate for LGBTQ plus rights, especially for better representation of people of color. Through his company, Ogden Group Entertainment, he continues to mentor, produce, and amplify voices too often ignored. Doug Spearman may never have chased blockbuster fame, but his legacy is undeniable. He helped rewrite the cultural blueprint of black gay representation with honesty, grace, and heart. In an industry where silence was once the only option, he chose to speak, and he's still speaking. Colman Domingo. Colman Domingo doesn't just play roles. He lives inside them. Every character he touches becomes flesh and blood, whether it's the fiercely protective Ollie in Euphoria, the magnetic Victor Strand in Fear the Walking Dead, or his Tony-nominated Turn in The Scottsboro Boys. His performances are never just watched. They're felt raw and unforgettable. But behind the accolades lies something even more powerful: authenticity. Domingo is among the few openly gay black actors in Hollywood, carving out a career that spans stage, film, and television without ever dimming who he is. Born in Philadelphia in 1969, he began on the stage, writing and performing deeply personal works that explored race, masculinity, and sexuality with rare vulnerability. His breakthrough didn't come from hiding, but from embracing his truth and weaving it into every performance, every role, every story. In 2005, fate introduced him to Raul Acton through a chance online encounter. Nearly a decade later, they married, and Domingo has spoken openly about their love with a refreshing honesty, never sensationalized, always celebrated. His openness has become revolutionary in an industry where many queer actors of color still feel pressured to remain silent for the sake of marketability. Domingo carries that dual weight, honor and burden, as well the only openly gay black man to lead major film and television projects. He's spoken candidly about that responsibility, and in 2024, it came full circle. His Academy Award nomination for Rustin, where he portrayed Bayard Rustin, a civil rights leader and fellow gay black man who fought for justice while battling erasure, was more than recognition. It was a reclamation. For an actor who has dedicated his career to giving voice to the overlooked, the nomination was proof that truth and talent can not only coexist, they can triumph. Kenan Lonsdale. Kenan Lonsdale belongs to a new generation of artists who refuse to choose between authenticity and success. Born in 1991 to a Nigerian father and an Australian mother of Irish descent, Lonsdale first captured worldwide attention as Wally West's Kid Flash in The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. But it wasn't his superhero costume that truly made him powerful. It was his decision to live openly, without fear. In 2017, at just 25, Lonsdale shared a raw and courageous Instagram post. "I like girls and I like guys. I'm not going to fake smile anymore." That moment of honesty rippled across the globe, inspiring countless others who had felt invisible. Just a year later, he starred in Love, Simon, one of Hollywood's first major films centered on a gay teen romance. The timing was poetic, an actor embracing his identity on screen while simultaneously claiming it in real life. But Lonsdale didn't stop at acting. Through music and fashion, he has shattered gender and sexuality norms. Songs like Kiss the Boy and Rainbow Dragon became fearless anthems of queer empowerment, while his fluid, vibrant, and unapologetic style turned every red carpet appearance into a statement of liberation. He doesn't just walk the carpet, he radiates across it. Though he identifies as queer and non-binary, Lonsdale has always rejected being boxed in by labels. For him, identity is about self-love, fearless creativity, and freedom of expression. He's been open about the years he spent hiding, terrified that honesty would end his career. Instead, the opposite happened. His truth became his greatest strength. Today, he stands as a voice for those who still struggle in silence, proving that authenticity is the ultimate superpower. Daryl Stevens. Long before LGBTQ plus visibility became a trend in Hollywood, he was already living his truth, on screen and off. Best remembered as Noah Nicholson in Noah's Ark, 2005 to 2006. Stevens brought to life a black gay man navigating love, heartbreak, and self-worth with a tenderness rarely seen on television. At a time when queer characters of color were either erased or shoved to the sidelines, Noah was a revelation, and Daryl Stevens quietly became an icon. Stevens had been working since the early 2000s, appearing in The Bold and The Beautiful and MTV's Undressed. But Noah's Ark, the first U.S. series to center the lives of gay black men, changed everything. Created by Patrick Ian Polk, the show offered a mirror that black queer viewers had never been given before. Noah wasn't stereotyped. He was soft-spoken, romantic, flawed, and achingly real, and Stevens embodied him with a subtle brilliance that made audiences fall in love. Openly gay in real life, Stevens chose authenticity from the beginning, even though it came at a price. "I was seen as too gay for straight roles and too black for others," he once admitted. The industry doors often slammed shut, but rather than retreat, he expanded. He became a writer and speaker, using his voice to tell the stories Hollywood ignored. His 2011 novel Shortcomings and his 2015 memoir required reading stripped away the masks, delving into identity, desire, and self-acceptance with unflinching honesty. Today, Stevens continues to act, write, and mentor with the same compassion and intentionality that defined Noah. He may not dominate the headlines, but his impact runs deeper. For countless queer storytellers and viewers, Darryl Stevens is proof that living authentically, despite the cost, can quietly change a generation. Jeremy Pope. Jeremy Pope is living proof of what Hollywood once claimed could never exist. A young, openly gay black man thriving on stage and screen without apology. With a voice that commands theater halls and a presence that electrifies the camera, Pope has carved out space not just for himself, but for every queer actor who was told, "Wait your turn." In 2019, he made history as only the sixth person ever to earn 2 Tony Award nominations in the same year. One for Choir Boy, the other for Ain't Too Proud. At just 27, Pope wasn't merely gathering accolades. He was shattering barriers. And he did it all while living openly and proudly as a gay man. A year later, he joined Ryan Murphy's Hollywood, a daring reimagination of post-war Tinseltown that asked the question, what if black queer talent had been given a fair shot from the start? Pope's role as Archie Coleman, a gay black screenwriter navigating a racist, homophobic system, wasn't just acting. It was autobiography. "I was telling my own story in many ways," he later admitted. But his gifts extend far beyond acting. Pope is also a soulful singer-songwriter, blending gospel roots with smooth R&B. His single Feels So Good rose as an anthem of self-love and queer joy. In 2023, he earned his first Academy Award nomination for The Inspection, a raw portrayal of a gay man enduring Marine boot camp, drawn from the life of filmmaker Elegance Bratton. Through it all, Pope has stayed grounded, using his platform to demand authentic representation both on and off screen. "I don't want to be the exception. I want to be the new normal," he told Variety. 12 actors. 12 lives lived at the crossroads of talent and truth. Some came out boldly. Others stayed silent for survival. But all of them redefined what Hollywood dares to imagine a black man can be. So here's the question. Is the industry truly changing, or are we still forced to applaud bravery in a system that punishes honesty? If you notice anything we should correct, let us know so we can keep improving. And don't forget, subscribe for more stories of the famous, the fearless, and the unforgettable.